This page is the cover of Sega Saturn Fan Magazine from June 1995, featuring striking artwork of a winged figure against a background of glowing spheres. The cover story features the legendary Yu Suzuki discussing a new operating system and Virtua Fighter 3, offering a glimpse into the future from the mind behind some of Sega's greatest hits. Key games highlighted include Breaking News on Far East of Eden, The Fourth Apocalypse, and Shining Wisdom. The magazine covers new Saturn game information, like Riglord Saga, Battle Monsters, and Blue Seed. There are also strategy guides for the Parodius Deluxe Pack and Mystist, plus a special feature delving into Daytona USA from the AM2 team. A fold-out poster for Super Real Mahjong PV and Blue Seed is also included. This issue promises a deep dive into upcoming titles and insights from Sega's development powerhouse, AM2. The next page kicks off with a massive visual promoting Kanzen Chukai Pro Yakyu Greatest 9, a realistic baseball simulation showcasing smooth camera cuts and speedy action, featuring real data from all 12 professional teams and players presented in a virtual stadium. It highlights the game as the start of the Sega Saturn League's pennant race. The right side teases exciting new and popular software for the Sega Saturn. Featured upcoming titles include Blue Seed, an RPG based on the popular anime, Grand Chaser, a futuristic racing game with visual design input from Sid Mead, and Shinobi Legends, a power-up-driven action game from the popular Ninja series. The page also highlights currently popular titles like Daytona USA, the arcade racing sensation known for its detailed 3D graphics and thrilling speed, Aporistal, a beautiful fantasy action game, and Rampo, an interactive adventure game based on the film. The page concludes by positioning the Sega Saturn console as the source for amazing software, showing the hardware and price. This page is all about the power of the Sega 32X. The main image on the left is a dynamic illustration of a futuristic ship exploding into action, declaring, "32X power great explosion." Vertical text alongside reads, "The software is original, right away." On the right side, we get previews of upcoming and available games for the system. First up is Stellar Assault, known as Shadow Squadron in the West, for the Super 32X, a 3D shooting game promising an arcade feel, with a two-way selection system suitable for all players, and a replay function. Below that is Zaxxon's Mother Base 2000, originally Parasquad in Japan, for Super 32X, another 3D shooter highlighting its full polygon giant characters, realistic 3D battles, and dynamic stage design, boasting the super flashy graphics only the 32-bit add-on could provide. Finally, Light Crusader is featured, an action RPG for the Mega Drive/Genesis, promising an action-packed experience with multi-floor dungeons filled with traps and puzzles that only the most persistent players will see the ending of. The page also shows the Super 32X attached to a Mega Drive, reminding players of the hardware needed. This page kicks off with a striking image for Shanghai, the Great Wall on Sega Saturn, featuring a dynamic dragon alongside classic mahjong tiles and screenshots of different game layouts like Classic, Great Wall, Beijing, and Chengdu. It promotes the game's dramatically changed gameplay, including a story mode and 4 distinct rule variations. The main section presents the magazine's table of contents, highlighting major features such as breaking news on 3 big upcoming RPGs. Far East of Eden, a new lunar title, and Shining Wisdom. There's also a deep dive into Daytona USA and Sega's AM2 division, exploring their ambitions, a special feature on the zany Gokuju Parodius Deluxe Pack, and an included poster for Super Real Mahjong PV and Blue Seed. The page also includes a comprehensive index of games covered across various Sega systems, and a guide on how to interpret the game information provided throughout the magazine. This page kicks off a massive feature introducing 3 major RPGs coming to the Sega Saturn, heralding a new era for the genre on the console. The spotlight is on Far East of Eden Gaiden, Apocalypse 1 SAG, a new lunar title, and Shining Wisdom. We get an introduction to the main characters of Far East of Eden Gaiden, Apocalypse 1 SAG, including Raisin, Ace, Sengoku, Yumemi, and Unagi, with vibrant character art and hints about their backgrounds. A significant portion is dedicated to the highly popular RPG series Lunar, previously a hit on the Mega CD, announcing its arrival on the Saturn. The page features an interview with Yoichi Miyagi from Game Arts, and provides context by highlighting the history of Lunar, the Silver Star, showing character art of Alex and Luna, and a screenshot, promising a new story different from previous entries. The article expresses clear excitement about these highly anticipated titles, shaping the future of RPGs on the Saturn. The next page dives deep into Shining Wisdom, one of the 3 major RPGs teased on the previous spread, marking Sega's first foray into the genre on the Saturn. It's presented as a top-down action RPG, a departure from the strategy RPGs the Shining series was known for at the time. A major highlight is the impressive graphics and animation, boasting over 10,000 animation patterns for characters and actions, promising incredibly smooth movement. Character renders of a princess and king are shown, alongside wireframe models, demonstrating the rendering process. Gameplay features include a unique rapid hit system, allowing players to adjust movement speed up to 5 levels by repeatedly pressing a button. This system is also applied to combat, enabling rapid sword strikes and powered-up magic attacks like firing fireballs by mashing the attack button. Screenshots show top-down dungeon exploration and combat sequences, including using magic. The game promises extensive dungeon exploration filled with puzzles and items. An interview with Shigeharu Takahashi provides developer insight, emphasizing the effort put into graphics and animation, the ease of the rapid hit system despite its complexity, and hinting at the game's connection to the broader Shining universe, showing artwork from Shining Force CD. The developers express confidence in the game's quality and fun factor. The piece concludes by highlighting the smooth controls and the unique action system after a hands-on demo. This page features a deep dive into Daytona, USA, specifically focusing on how to achieve the fastest lap times and surpass the record set by Sega's AM2 development team. The article highlights the Saturn version, pointing out new features exclusive to this release, including how to unlock additional cars beyond the initial 4, eventually giving you access to 10 different vehicles to choose from. It emphasizes the importance of checking your racing lines, made easier by the replay mode, which allows viewing your run from multiple camera angles. The piece also provides advice on selecting the optimal car for setting blistering times, and offers detailed strategy guides for each course to help players shave off precious milliseconds. It mentions the AM2 official time attack is underway, challenging players to refine their driving and beat the developers' best. This page continues the deep dive into Daytona, USA, offering detailed strategy guides for mastering 2 more tracks: the beginner course, 3-7 Speedway, and the intermediate course, Dinosaur Canyon. For 3-7 Speedway, described as a high-speed circuit where maintaining momentum is key, the guide emphasizes taking the optimal line and minimizing errors. It provides specific tactics for the challenging final corner, known as the billiard crash, suggesting how to approach it at full throttle and recover stability using countersteering. Screenshots illustrate the recommended entry speed and angle. Moving to Dinosaur Canyon, the article highlights the difficulty of the rapid succession of corners in the latter half of the track. The strategy focuses on managing speed minimally while staying on the throttle as much as possible. Detailed instructions cover navigating specific sections like the initial brachio curve, utilizing the pit lane shortcut effectively, handling the downhill stego slope without drifting, managing deceleration on Tricera Road, and executing a controlled drift through the final challenging Dragon's Fossil Corner. Screenshots demonstrate the speeds and lines needed for these tricky sections, providing visual cues to help players shave seconds off their lap times on these technical layouts. This page continues the extensive coverage of Daytona, USA, now focusing on the highly technical advanced course, Seaside Street Galaxy. This track demands intense concentration due to its length and complex sections, with specific points requiring precise technique to shave off precious seconds. The guide breaks down key areas, like the intricate corners of Cassiopeia City, the precise drift needed through the waterfall of Moon's Tears, the high-speed run before the Meteor Tower, the critical braking point at the Saturn Ring, and the challenging Comet Curve which requires a mandatory downshift. Screenshots illustrate the recommended lines and speeds for mastering these tricky parts of the circuit. Also featured is an announcement for the Daytona USA AM2 official time attack. This competition invites players of all skill levels, from beginner to advanced, based on their fastest lap times. Participants are encouraged to submit video proof of their best laps on any course to compete, highlighting their mastery of the game's challenging tracks. This page presents an in-depth look at the Sega Saturn RPG Riglord Saga, highlighting its impressive graphics and strategic gameplay systems. The left side showcases the game's visual presentation, emphasizing the use of polygon and CG rendering to create detailed 3D environments for both exploration and battle. It discusses the scene creation process and hints at dynamic camera work, even mentioning an opening demo that sets the stage. Town life is also briefly touched upon with screenshots of the weapon and item shops, suggesting opportunities for equipping your party and interacting with the world. On the right, the article details Riglord Saga's battle system, focusing on strategic depth and character development. A key feature is the skill system, where skills level up through use and can even be inherited between characters, offering flexibility in party building. Different character classes are shown utilizing distinct skill types, such as sword techniques, ninja arts, and holy magic, adding tactical variety. The system also incorporates weapon enhancement and, intriguingly, magic that can directly alter the terrain of the battlefield during combat, adding a unique layer of strategy to overcome obstacles or gain an advantage. Screenshots illustrate the skill leveling process, different combat abilities, and the effect of terrain-changing spells like creating a defensive wall. This page provides a detailed look at the main characters appearing early in Riglord Saga and showcases their unique abilities in combat. It highlights the protagonist Arthur, who combines sword techniques like strike with offensive magic such as freezing, and his mentor, the old knight Hector, a master of the bow with skills like spiral arrow. The article also introduces key party members like the formidable beast ninja Shishimaru, who excels in spear and martial arts, and the essential priestess Elise, who specializes in powerful healing magic. Beyond the main party, it presents allies and foes with intriguing skills, including the ninja warrior Musashi and his Shikigami partners, the cat girl Akubi, capable of shrinking enemies with special magic, and the highly mobile crow Tengu Kuroyasha. Each character's section features their artwork and screenshots demonstrating their signature moves, emphasizing the diverse strategic options available. The page concludes by introducing the imposing demon general Genyu Sai, hinting at the powerful threats players will face. This page features the Sega Saturn title Super Real Mahjong Page V, a mahjong game where your opponents are 3 cute high school girls. This game is a port of the popular arcade-stripping mahjong series, known for its charming characters and smooth animation. The Saturn version faithfully reproduces the arcade experience and enhances it with impressive animation sequences. A prominent focus is on one of the main characters, Mizuki Tomano. Described as a healthy, short-haired girl with tan skin, she's sporty and leads the group. The page provides details about her personality and even a tip on how to play against her. She's not particularly difficult to beat, but tends to declare Richi early, so watch out for that. It also mentions her voice actress, Manami Nakayama. Screenshots show the mahjong gameplay interface, character portraits during the game, and revealing scenes typical of the series. Due to the uncensored nature of the arcade content being ported, the game is explicitly rated for players 18 years and older, X-rated, with a warning that those under 18 cannot purchase it. The article emphasizes the high-quality character artwork and the excitement of the animation sequences. This page continues the exploration of Super Real Mahjong Page V, introducing the other 3 main opponents you'll face in this Sega Saturn Mahjong title. We are introduced to Fujiwara Aya, characterized by her initially shy but surprisingly bold personality once you get to know her. Her voice actress is Yamazaki Wakana, known for roles like Ran Mori in Detective Conan and Sasha in Saint Seiya. Then there's Taniguchi Shizuka, depicted as calm and quiet but with a hidden stubborn streak. She is voiced by Tange Sakura, famous for portraying Sakura Kinomoto in Cardcaptor Sakura. Finally, Hayasaka Akira is featured, the energetic and slightly competitive one of the group, born and raised in Taiwan. The page includes multiple character illustrations showing them in various outfits, including the revealing scenes the series is known for, along with portraits used during gameplay. There is also a small section advertising a present campaign for Super Real Mahjong PV merchandise. This page delves into the world of Battle Monsters, a unique fighting game for the Sega Saturn. It immediately grabs your attention with its use of digitized graphics, showcasing a diverse cast of 12, or possibly 13, monstrous characters, battling for supremacy in a different dimension. The game focuses on intense action, featuring not only standard punches and kicks, but also powerful special moves, fueled by a mana gauge, and opportunities for aerial combos and pursuits. The arenas where these fierce battles take place are anything but ordinary. The page highlights the game's unusual stages, noting there are 13 distinct ones, many of which feature dynamic elements like screen zooming, destructible environmental obstacles, and even hazards like ringouts or stages set on precarious surfaces. The impressive roster of fighters, each representing a different race, are introduced, emphasizing their unique looks and abilities. The ultimate goal is to defeat these rivals, and eventually face off against the powerful 4 great elementals, to become the ruler of this strange world. The character select screen and various gameplay screenshots showcasing the bizarre fighters and environments are featured prominently. Battle Monsters looks like a wild and visually distinct entry in the Saturn's fighting game library. This page presents the 4th installment of the Ambition of the Iron Men dialogue series, featuring Sega's Yu Suzuki and Game Studio's Masanobu Endo, discussing a new operating system for the Sega Saturn. The central theme is whether this new OS will transform the console and make development easier, addressing the perceived difficulty often associated with the Saturn's twin CPUs. The developers share their insights, acknowledging the challenge of programming for the Saturn, but expressing hope that the new OS, providing better programming tools and simpler hardware handling, will be an immediate asset. They discuss upcoming titles like the highly anticipated Virtua Fighter 3 and a new Sega Adventure RPG project, hinting at the potential unlocked by this new system. A key point of discussion is the comparison between Saturn and PlayStation development environments, with the new OS aiming to level the playing field, particularly for 3D graphics and polygon rendering. The page showcases a demo of Virtua Cop running on the new OS as a concrete example of its capabilities. Profiles of both Yu Suzuki, known for classics like Hang-On, Virtua Fighter, and Daytona USA, and Masanobu Endo, creator of Wizardry and the Tower of Druaga, are also included, highlighting their significant contributions to the gaming world. This page continues the dialogue between Sega's Yu Suzuki and Game Studio's Masanobu Endo about the Sega Saturn and its new operating system. The discussion delves deeper into the challenges of developing for the Saturn, particularly highlighting the complexity of its twin CPUs and the difficulty in fully utilizing the hardware's potential. They agree that while the hardware is powerful, its unique architecture makes it hard to program effectively compared to other systems. The developers express hope that the new OS will provide the necessary tools and simplified access to the hardware, making it easier for developers to extract performance and encouraging more creative approaches. Endo emphasizes that understanding the hardware is key to successful Saturn development, and the OS aims to lower this barrier. The page features several images related to Sega's arcade and Saturn titles, including a scene from Virtua Fighter showing Jackie Bryant in a bar, a red sports car from an upcoming racing game, and a CG render of a robot from Virtua Fighter 3. A wrap-up section summarizes the dialogue, noting the positive impression of the new OS as an immediate asset, and highlighting anticipated titles like Virtua Cop 2 and the CG advancements seen in Virtua Fighter 3 as proof of the system's capability with the new tools. There is also a small section asking readers to send in their thoughts and feedback on the dialogue and the featured games. This page features a special supplement or visual guide from the June 1995 issue of Saturn Fan Magazine, titled Saturn Fan PV. The focus is prominently on the Sega Saturn game Blue Seed, Kushinada Hime no Fukatsu, based on the popular anime and manga series. The right side of the page showcases the game's title, and features a collage of animated scenes, depicting characters from the series, including the protagonist, Koshi Inada, or a similar character with blonde hair and gun, in action, and the main character, Momiji Fujimiya, or a similar red-haired character, reacting in various situations. The background is a dynamic splatter pattern. Below the main title, the subtitle, The Revival of Kushinada Hime, is present, indicating the specific story arc covered in the game. A large, stylized flower, or star shape in the corner, adds a visual flair, with a character in a school uniform lying across it. The left side serves as an introduction to this supplement, featuring the title, Saturn Fan PV, alongside character art, depicting legs and feet in different poses near a concrete structure, possibly setting a scene, or just general artwork for the supplement. The spine confirms the publication details and credits. This supplement gives readers a visual preview of the Blue Seed game's content, highlighting its anime aesthetic and action elements through the included screenshots and illustrations. This page is part of the Kingdom of Saturn section, packed with reader data and information. It features a dynamic illustration with anime-style characters in action, battling a large winged creature, giving a sense of adventure and fantasy. The main focus is the Ranking Street segment, presenting game sales charts for the period of March 1, to March 31st. The top spot on the Saturn ranking is held by Panzer Dragoon, a critically acclaimed 3D rail shooter, noted for its successful debut and high point count. Virtua Fighter remains strong in second place. The page also includes rankings for Mega Drive/Mega CD and Super 32X titles, showcasing the popular games on those platforms during the month, such as Virtua Racing Deluxe and Yu Yu Hakusho Makyo Tuitsusen. The analysis highlights Panzer Dragoon's impressive performance right out of the gate. This page dives into the reader-voted rankings for Saturn games, showcasing what fans were playing and loving. Topping the list is Daytona USA, followed closely by Panzer Dragoon. The table lays out the reader scores across various criteria like graphics, sound, and gameplay, giving a clear picture of how each title landed with the fanbase in April. Readers had a lot to say about the top contenders. Daytona USA, highly anticipated, received praise for its exciting atmosphere and impressive sound, though some comments noted the graphics weren't quite up to the arcade standard, or compared unfavorably in some aspects to titles like Ridge Racer on PlayStation. Controls were generally well received, capturing the arcade feel, leading to an overall positive but mixed reception, with an 81% good review rate. Panzer Dragoon, ranked second, was hailed as a high point for Saturn shooters, with readers praising its unique atmosphere, challenging difficulty, and excellent visuals and music. It garnered strong positive feedback, indicating it resonated deeply with players. Further down the list, Daedalus, a 3D dungeon crawler ranked 6th, saw more mixed to negative reviews. Players found it difficult to get into, noting issues with tutorials and a lack of polish or originality compared to other games in the genre. The page also includes a small note highlighting the immense demand for big titles like Daytona USA upon release, unfortunately leading to stock shortages, which was a regrettable situation for eager fans. This page continues the reader feedback section, shifting focus to the Super 32X and Mega Drive/Mega CD libraries. The Super 32X reader ranking is presented, with Tempo taking the top spot, earning praise for its gameplay and character design, though some found it frustrating. Its scores reflect a mixed but generally positive reception. Next, the Mega Drive/Mega CD reader ranking is shown, topped by Peacock King 2, known internationally as Mystic Defender. This section notes that scores overall are perhaps lower compared to the newer systems, indicating the aging hardware might be showing its limits, despite some solid titles. The page also features a section on expected rankings, listing upcoming or hoped-for titles for Saturn, Mega Drive/Mega CD, and Super 32X, giving insight into what readers were looking forward to. Key titles like Virtua Fighter 2 and various RPGs appear on the Saturn list, while anticipated ports and new releases populate the other system lists. Finally, there's a call for reader contributions, encouraging submissions of game reviews for a chance to win prizes, alongside a list of games they are specifically seeking reviews for in the upcoming issue. This page continues the reader feedback section, focusing heavily on the Sega Saturn. Readers express a strong desire for more software releases, lamenting the relatively smaller library compared to systems discussed previously. One interesting technical tip shows how to use a Game Gear's TV tuner as a makeshift monitor for the Saturn, offering a portable display option. The letters cover various topics, including questions about playing Daytona USA online or in versus mode, and comments on game prices, with readers specifically noting the high cost of titles like Koei's Romance of the Three Kingdoms IV and backup memory cartridges. There's anticipation for upcoming releases, particularly from Namco, and discussions about which games readers hope to see ported to the Saturn, such as Metal Black. Overall, the sentiment is one of eager anticipation for more Saturn content, and a desire for the library to grow. This page features the third visit in a series introducing new industry entrants, this time focusing on the company Mizuki. While they deal heavily in Windows and Mac communication and multimedia software, the article also covers their upcoming game releases, specifically for the Sega Saturn. They discuss titles like Lupin III, The Master File, and a J.League soccer game, showing they are bringing varied content to the platform. This aligns nicely with the sentiment from the previous page, where readers were eager for more Saturn software. The page also prominently features a large section dedicated to the interactive fan corner, titled Virtua Coliseum, showcasing characters and information related to Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 2, including a menu listing various topics like techniques, strategies, and a monthly communication section. This highlights the strong fan base and ongoing interest in Sega's premier fighting series. This page dives deep into mastering Kagemaru in Virtua Fighter 2, presenting him as potentially the strongest character in the game. It's part of the Hagakureryu Martial Arts Tiger Scroll Guide, offering detailed strategies for players. The guide covers essential tactics, like fully utilizing Cage's impressive speed, learning his basic offensive maneuvers and key combinations, and the importance of reacting to the opponent's moves. It also explores advanced concepts, such as surprise attack strategies, turning defense into an advantage, effectively escaping from ring-out situations, and even advises against relying heavily on down attacks due to Cage's performance. The page is filled with helpful screenshots demonstrating Cage in action against various fighters, illustrating the techniques discussed. This continues the strong focus on Virtua Fighter 2 seen on the previous page, providing fans with the insights they were looking for. This page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter 2, first expanding on Kagemaru's strategies, with specific advice for facing various opponents. It covers key points for battling Sarah, Jeffrey, Shun, Lao, Jackie, Akira, and other characters, emphasizing Cage's strengths like speed and mix-ups, while offering defensive tactics for each matchup. For example, against Sarah, it advises dealing with her sidekicks, while against Jeffrey, it highlights his throws and the need for cautious play. Against Jackie, it suggests staying low to counter his high attacks. The page then shifts focus to Virtua Fighter 2's dynamic camera system. It explains how the viewpoint changes in real time during gameplay, to keep the action centered and create dramatic tension, especially during critical moments like low health or throws. It also details the camera behavior during replays and the victory screen, noting that replay cameras offer different fixed angles, and victory screen angles can be chosen by the player. This section breaks down the technical aspects of the game's visual presentation, something often overlooked but crucial to its feel. Screenshots illustrate Cage in various matchups, and demonstrate the different camera angles seen during play and replays. This page features a deep dive into the world of Virtua Fighter and Sega's AM development teams. A significant portion is dedicated to the establishment of the World Fighting Tournament, WFT. Certified dojos across 17 locations in Japan, where players can participate in ranking tests and tournaments, showcasing images of the official member and rank certification cards. There's also a fan art section, featuring illustrations of popular characters like Pain, Sarah, and Jackie. The main feature focuses on the further ambitions of the AM core, specifically highlighting the plans of AM1 development. An interview with AM1 manager Koya Nakagawa reveals their intent to release 5 titles for the STV arcade board within the year, covering various genres including shooting, puzzle, and potentially interactive games. The article discusses their development philosophy and hints at potential ports of existing AM arcade titles. Screenshots accompanying the article show a racing game, a scene from Virtua Fighter 2, and a 2D shooting/combat game reminiscent of AM's arcade roots. This page features exciting updates from Sega's renowned AM development teams. AM1 unveils their latest arcade title, Cool Riders, a high-speed motorcycle racing game utilizing unique live-action capture technology for characters and backgrounds, creating a distinctive look that goes beyond traditional polygons. AM1 manager Makoto Sugahara discusses the game's development and the desire to achieve visual feats not possible with polygon graphics alone, highlighting features like branching paths and varied environments, including wild sequences like jumping over sharks. Meanwhile, AM2 reveals they are commencing full development on 2 significant new projects. AM2 manager Toshihiro Nagoshi provides insight into their work, specifically mentioning the creation of a brand new operating system for the Sega Saturn console. The page showcases a sequence of images demonstrating fluid martial arts movements performed by a character, likely Pain from Virtua Fighter, serving as a technical demo for the capabilities of this new Saturn OS, and hinting at the potential for advanced 3D character animation in their upcoming titles. This page dives into the exciting projects underway at Sega's AM2 division for the Sega Saturn. Following up on mentions from the previous page, the focus is primarily on bringing 2 arcade hits to the home console, Virtua Fighter 2 and Virtua Cop. For Virtua Fighter 2, developers discuss the challenges of perfectly porting the arcade game, but state their goal is to achieve graphics quality beyond the arcade version, specifically leveraging the new Saturn operating system. They show screenshots of the game and the full character roster, emphasizing the technical progress made. especially regarding the fluidity of character movements seen in earlier demos. The conversation touches on reproducing the game's speed and visual details like reflective floors. Next, we get the first look at the Saturn port of Virtua Cop. Described as a polygon shooter, the page reveals development progress, stating that Stage 1 is around 7,080% complete. Developers confirm that enemy patterns and appearances are faithful to the arcade original. Screenshots demonstrate the stages and the aiming mechanic, highlighting the smooth viewpoint movement and the accurate appearance of polygon characters and environments. The team expresses confidence in reproducing the arcade experience, noting that features like dynamic camera movement are being faithfully recreated. The next page continues the look into Sega's AM divisions, this time focusing on new arcade hits slated for the Saturn. First up is AM2's foray into sports games with Virtua Striker. Developers discuss their ambition to create a truly realistic soccer simulation, prioritizing authentic dribbling and ball physics rather than just the ball being attached to the player. They aim to recreate player movement based on physical laws and set the pitch size to match the World Cup. Screenshots showcase the early game graphics. Two-head Minoru Miyagawa touches on the challenges of porting the polygonal characters to the Saturn hardware. Next, AM3 presents Sega Rally Championship, a game they believe will surpass Daytona USA. Known for its realistic driving physics, the quick decision to port it to Saturn is highlighted, with development targeting a year-end release. M3 head Hisao Odagiri and staff discuss the importance of maintaining the sense of speed, particularly in 2P split-screen mode. They are confident in delivering graphics superior to Daytona and are aiming for a complete port of the arcade experience, including time attack and 2 pop modes, with potential Saturn exclusive editions like car tuning. Screenshots display the game's detailed rally environments and vehicles. A small mention is also given to Captain Polygon, with an image of the character presented as another project. The next page prominently features the Gessen Factory header and artwork showcasing characters, announcing new fighting games. The main focus is on Cyberbots. Full Metal Madness, originating from the arcade hit Powered Gear. The article highlights the game's heavy world setting and popular characters making their debut in this fighting game adaptation. It covers basic controls for the variable armors, versus.as, explaining different gauges for weapons, boosts, and power-ups, and detailing various attack types like normal attacks, Giga Crush specials, and Cyber X attacks, complete with instructional diagrams and screenshots. On the left, there's a look at Baku Baku Animal, a new STV puzzle game from AM3. Developers discuss the unique animal and food block concept and its simple yet potentially deep gameplay, with chains and large clears. A Saturn port is actively being considered. Below this, AM3 teases a scoop on a new, tentatively titled mobile suit game, hinting it might be a fighting game, shown with a single image of a mobile suit design. Finally, a brief note at the bottom confirms that major titles like Virtua Fighter 2 and Sega Rally Championship are on track for a year-end release on the Saturn, continuing the discussion from the previous page about key AM division ports. This page dives deeper into Cyberbots. Full Metal Madness, highlighting the selection of variable armors, showcasing 4 distinct types and 12 models with different weapon loadouts. The article emphasizes the game's impactful presentation, describing the satisfying metal sounds and explosions during combat, and the use of powerful moves like the Shining Arm. It also notes that the single-player experience is unique, with the story changing across 6 different paths depending on the chosen pilot. The main feature on the right covers the Polygon Janky 2 event, a collaboration between Sega and Space Shaver TV that brought together fans for a lively festival atmosphere. The event featured booming techno music, new arcade game showcases like Virtua Striker, Virtua Fighter, Virtua Fighter 2, Daytona USA, and Virtua Cop, and even exclusive development footage shown on a large screen. Attendees got a look behind the scenes, seeing motion capture sessions, 3D CG models, and even early test footage for games like Virtua Fighter. This page kicks off with news about a Falcom-related radio program called Tarako no Ovajimi, featuring info and drama segments, including mentions of the Legend of Heroes 2-1. There's also a report on some cool crane game prizes from Bampresto featuring Toru to Isuru Tamagotchi, including stationery and plushies. In the events section, there's a peek at a video clip for Taito's classic shooter Rayforce, with notes on a screening event involving Zuntata, their famous sound team. We also see an update on Bandai's Playdidia V dating simulation software, detailing a recent event with voice actors present. The page covers new tech too, like an online RPG system called What's Tsushin that uses a special cry drum for accessing game shops, and a sound enhancer called 3RAW-DD, promising 3D audio from just 2 speakers. There's a list of new game drama and music cruds available, covering titles like The Legend of Heroes, 2i, Makeruna, Makendo, Suikoden, Data East, Twinbee Paradise 2, and even a symphony for the YS series. Finally, the page wraps up with the results of a reader survey, listing winners for prizes related to popular games like Daytona USA, Panzer Dragoon, Side Pocket, Tempo, and Surging Aura. This page starts with the Illustration Big Bang section, showcasing impressive reader-submitted artwork inspired by classic games. We see fierce depictions of Blaze from Streets of Rage 2, powerful characters from Virtua Fighter and Darkstalkers like Pei-chan and Morrigan, fan favorites like Sailor Moon, and characters from The King of Fighters and Shining Force, plus other cool designs. The editors give quick shoutouts to the artists. The other major section is the Game Research Lab, concluding the guide for the groundbreaking puzzle-adventure game, Myst. This part provides a detailed breakdown of how to navigate and solve the intricate puzzles required to access and explore the different ages in the game. It includes diagrams of Myst Island and the Stone Ship Age, offering strategic insights into the Mechanic Age and Channelwood Age to help players finally crack the secrets of Myst Island. It's a solid guide for players stuck on this challenging title. This page continues the in-depth guide for Myst, specifically focusing on the Channelwood and Mechanic Ages. The Channelwood section covers using the spiral stairs, various elevators, B and C, finding key items in Surus and Aknar's rooms, and operating the retractable pipe and sunken ship. There's a handy breakdown of the shortest steps required to operate the pipes and elevators, which is crucial for progression. The Mechanic Age part details locations within the rotating fortress and the surrounding islands. It explains the fortress rotation device and how to use it to access the different islands, north, east, south. A key element is understanding the relationship between sounds and directions, which is vital for solving the island puzzles. The guide also covers accessing Surus and Aknar's rooms, and the underground area within this age. Finally, the guide concludes with gathering the pages, explaining the critical final step of finding the red and blue pages in the respective ages, and the ultimate choice players face regarding who to trust between Surus and Aknar. It highlights the visual difference between the brothers in their page images. There's also a section for reader feedback on the guide and the games. The next issue is set to feature virtual highlight. This page is all about engaging with the readers, offering them a chance to win one of 50 game prizes by participating in a comprehensive survey. The survey dives deep into reader demographics, their current gaming setup, what consoles they own if they have a fax machine, remember this is the 90s, their gaming habits, and their preferences for magazine content, asking what they want to see more of and less of. They also list the prizes for this month, highlighting the top 10 games readers can win, including titles like Super Real Mahjong P vs for the Sega Saturn, Battle Monsters for Saturn, Chikyu Powerful Pro Yakyu 95 for Saturn, Parasquad for the Super 32X, and Toulouse-Lautrec for the Mega Drive. There are clear instructions on how to fill out the application postcard for a computer to read it correctly, emphasizing writing clearly within the boxes. It's a great way for the magazine to gather feedback directly from their audience and reward them for their participation. This page features the actual return postcard for the June issue's reader survey and gift application, complete with spaces for your address, name, phone number, and a section to detail your game achievements or scores. It's designed with a tear-off line for easy mailing. Below the postcard is the comprehensive list of choices readers can select from when filling out the survey questions mentioned previously. There are sections listing the articles featured in this month's issue, other gaming magazines, various gaming platforms, and a truly massive list spanning hundreds of games available for the Sega Saturn, Super 32X, Mega Drive, Genesis, and Mega CD, Sega CD. This extensive game list covers a wide range of titles from different genres, allowing readers to provide detailed feedback on their gaming experiences and preferences across Sega's dominant systems of the era. This page previews 2 exciting Sega Saturn titles. First up is Blue Seed, an RPG that continues the story from the popular anime, specifically highlighting the events of the 3rd chapter. Players will delve into card-based battles and explore underground areas, encountering formidable foes known as the Black Four Heavenly Kings, alongside new, original characters who are introduced here. Screenshots showcase the anime-style character art and the game's battle system. Also featured is Greatest 9, a polygon and texture-based baseball simulation aiming for maximum immersion. It boasts real-life teams and players based on 1995 data, brought to life with lively announcer commentary and crowd reactions, even including regional cheering styles. The game offers various modes, from a full pennant race to a home run contest, ensuring plenty of gameplay options. Screenshots demonstrate the realistic visuals and different game views, highlighting features like camera changes during plays. Both games include standard release information boxes. This page features an attack special strategy guide for the Parodius Deluxe Pack on Sega Saturn. The main focus is on Gokuju Parodius, known internationally as Fantastic Journey. The guide offers detailed strategies for conquering the first 5 stages, including tips for navigating challenging sections and defeating specific bosses like the Giant Crane game and the Moai statues. Screenshots illustrate key moments and boss encounters, highlighting the game's signature blend of intense shooting action and bizarre humor. Additionally, the page provides a quick visual tour of all 10 stages, from the original Parodius Da or From Myth to Laughter, showcasing the diverse and comical environments. The article notes that despite its silly appearance, the game offers a hardcore and challenging shooting experience. This page continues the Attack Special Strategy Guide for the Parodius Deluxe Pack on Sega Saturn, focusing on stages from Fantastic Journey. It provides detailed tips for Stage 5, highlighting the return of a Gradia-style boss area. The guide advises prioritizing power-ups in the first half and preparing for intense dodging in the second. The boss, referred to as Cappuccino, is detailed, noting that players can use the capsules it drops, including roulette capsules, for power-ups. Screenshots illustrate the stage layout and the boss fight. The recommended character for this stage is Penguin, praised for its strong shooting power. The guide then moves to Stage 6, themed around the tail of the bamboo cutter. It warns players about the large rabbit turrets in the latter half. Strategies are given for dealing with specific enemies like the Rasatan rockets, suggesting ignoring them, and the giant pestles. Kine. The boss is Princess Kaguya, who has 4 distinct attack patterns corresponding to the seasons, changing as she takes damage. The article offers advice on how to evade her seasonal attacks, particularly her lasers and unpredictable movements, recommending high speed for the boss fight. Screenshots showcase the unique environments and the boss in her different forms. Octopus is suggested as a recommended character for this stage, possibly due to its missile and laser options. The next page continues the detailed strategy guide for Parodius Deluxe Pack, covering the challenging Stage 7 and a special bonus stage. Stage 7 is described as having incredibly tough terrain, featuring a mix of moving platforms, ground turrets, and self-propelled enemies like the Duckers, making navigation difficult. The guide stresses the importance of quickly destroying ground turrets and preparing for enemies emerging from behind. The boss is introduced as a giant octopus, and the key strategy is to destroy its tentacles and target its eye when exposed. For Stage 7, the guide recommends Mambo for its effective bubble missile and screw laser. A separate section also highlights Hikaru, praising her power-ups for tackling the stage's challenges. The page then covers the special stage, unlocked after clearing all main stages. This stage starts with no equipment, testing pure skill. Enemies include floating octopus cells and a formidable boss duo, Penguin X and Penguin Jr. The guide emphasizes focusing fire on the larger Penguin X while dodging its varied attacks, noting that Penguin Jr.'s presence adds another layer of difficulty. This section provides essential tactical advice for overcoming the final main stage and the ultimate challenge of the bonus stage. This page is all about the Sega 32X title, Parasquad, a unique vertically scrolling shooter featuring polygonal graphics. The article notes the resurgence of shooting games and highlights Parasquad's unusual oblique perspective. The game features polygon enemies ranging from small fry to massive bosses. The page breaks down key aspects of the game. It explains the power-up system, which doesn't rely on collecting items but on capturing specific enemies and utilizing their abilities as temporary power-ups for attack and defense. Different enemy types grant different abilities like core capture, jumping attacks, hacking, and weapon learning. It also showcases the polygonal graphics, emphasizing how all objects, from allies and enemies to environmental obstacles and even bullet fragments, are rendered in 3D polygons, allowing for dynamic movement and transformation. The article then provides a stage-by-stage overview. Stage 1 involves battling giant robots. Stage 2 focuses on escaping a base, featuring collapsing pillars and a high-speed highway section. Stage 3 takes players through an asteroid belt towards an alien planet, culminating in a fight against a massive polygonal boss. Stage 4 shifts the setting to the ocean surface and underwater caverns, presenting new environmental challenges and enemy types, including a large shark boss. The page includes multiple screenshots illustrating the polygonal visuals, enemy designs, gameplay mechanics, and stage environments. This page features two distinct Sega 32X titles, highlighting the system's varied library. On the left is Stella Assault, a visceral polygon fighter that puts you in the cockpit for intense 3D space combat. It leverages the 32X's processing power for fast-paced action, and even includes a replay mode to relive your dogfights. You get to choose between two different fighter types to tackle the game's multiple missions, emphasizing the impressive polygon graphics. On the right, we have the expansive strategy simulation, Romance of the Three Kingdoms IV. This acclaimed PC title makes its way to the 32X, challenging players to conquer and unify ancient China. It boasts a massive roster of 450 unique characters, each with their own traits and special abilities, which are further enhanced in this version. The gameplay dives deep into strategy, diplomacy, domestic management, and large-scale battles, offering a complex simulation experience for fans of the genre. This page dives into the Mega Drive's library, with two action titles based on popular movies. On the left, we have True Lies, an action game where you step into the shoes of Agent Harry, brought to life by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the film. Played from a top-down perspective, the game focuses on intense gun battles against terrorists. You'll navigate through diverse environments like a castle, rocky slopes, a shopping mall, and a park, using various weapons and evasive maneuvers like rolling to complete your missions. The challenge lies in taking down enemies effectively, while sometimes needing to avoid harming civilians. The right side features Warlock, a side-scrolling action game based on the dark fantasy movie. As the hero, your quest is to defeat the son of Satan, the titular warlock, who seeks to destroy the world. You'll battle hordes of demons and monstrous creatures, using a combination of physical attacks and powerful magic spells. The game highlights two distinct magical attacks, a close-range fire burst and a projectile orb, essential for navigating treacherous levels like a wizard's castle, a cave beneath a lake, and desolate mountain terrain. Collecting rune stones is key to advancing and ultimately confronting the warlock. Both games offer action-packed experiences drawing directly from their cinematic counterparts. This page focuses on new releases, highlighting two action-packed games and a classic strategy RPG. The first game featured is Stargate for the Genesis, a side-scrolling action title based on the hit sci-fi movie. You play as Colonel Jack O'Neill, venturing through the mysterious Stargate to battle alien creatures and uncover the secrets of an ancient civilization. The review notes the smooth and varied character animations, from running and jumping to using ropes. Gameplay involves platforming, combat, and utilizing fallen items like weapon power-ups and energy restoration. There are also character interactions that provide hints for progression. The screenshots show intense action sequences, item pickups, and dialogue scenes. Next up is Shining Force Gaiden: Final Conflict, a Game Gear title included in the Shining Force CD collection. This entry continues the beloved tactical RPG series, serving as a bridge between earlier Game Gear titles and the Saturn game. The core gameplay remains a grid-based simulation battle system where units gain experience and level up, learning new spells and abilities. Players recruit new characters and manage their team's growth. While town exploration is simplified on the Game Gear, the essential strategic battles and character progression that define the series are fully present. Screenshots showcase the battle grid, character stats, and visual presentation of the combat. The page is introduced under the banner Game Gear Fan, indicating a focus on the handheld console software releases this month. This page continues our look at Sega releases, featuring more on the tactical RPG front alongside a selection of Game Gear titles. Taking up the left half of the page is a guide or walkthrough section dedicated to Shining Force 2. It details key points in the early game, following Max and the Force as they pursue Michaela. Locations highlighted include the ancient temple and the town of Hassan's. The guide covers battles in these areas and mentions encounters with characters like Ian and creatures like the Kraken, guiding players through the initial stages of their journey on the Palmakia continent, picking up where the story left off from previous entries. Moving over to the Game Gear section, we see previews for several new titles. Super Columns brings the classic puzzle action to the handheld, adding new mechanics like the ability to drop gems horizontally, offering fresh strategic depth to the familiar Match 3 gameplay. Tool Rise appears to be a simulation title with shooting elements. Also featured is the Game Gear version of Stargate. Unlike the Genesis action game, this seems to be a puzzle game focused on matching symbols within a circular field, offering a completely different take on the movie license. RPG fans get Madu Monogatari A, based on an episode from the popular PC dungeon crawler series, adapted for the Game Gear with unique scenarios. Finally, the page previews Ninku, an action RPG based on the hit manga and anime, featuring one-on-one combat sequences alongside exploration. This page is packed with various tips and tricks for several Sega games. It highlights bonus modes and secrets players can unlock. Featured prominently is a fascinating trick for Daytona USA, where you can race not in a car, but on a horse. The page details how to access this unique mode, including different control options for the horse. Another section covers bonus game modes in Panzer Dragoon, listing button inputs to activate modes like Harrier, Rolling, and Wizard mode, which seem to affect gameplay or visuals, including potentially transforming the dragon. For Game Gear titles, secrets are revealed for a Crayon Shinchan game, explaining how to unlock additional minigames via title screen commands. Gunstar Heroes players get a tip on how to make the item carrier enemy drop 2 items instead of 1. Megami Tensei Gaiden. Last Bible Special players are given a method to become wealthy by strategically selling equipment in a specific town area. Finally, the page provides a list of interesting passwords for Rystar, which unlock various effects like a boss rush mode, round select, or even add a strange on-CHI mode to the sound test. A small section rates the submitted tricks by their usefulness and fun factor, alongside a call for readers to submit their own secrets for various Sega consoles. This page previews upcoming Sega releases across multiple platforms, including the Saturn, Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Mega CD. It features in-depth looks at 3 distinct titles. First up is School Ghost Stories for the Saturn, an adventure game slated for a July release. Based on popular scary tales and a movie, this title traps players in a school filled with ghosts, requiring escape. The game blends adventure sequences with action segments, and heavily utilizes live-action footage for its visuals and story progression, aiming to capture the creepy atmosphere of the source material. Next is Quo Vadis, a sci-fi simulation coming to the Saturn in summer '95. Players command a fleet in galactic battles, navigating a complex story mode featuring full-motion video and simulation battles rendered in 3D CG. The narrative involves political intrigue and conflicts with former comrades, offering branching story paths and multiple endings based on the player's decisions in character development, promising a substantial amount of content. Finally, Graduation 2 Neo Generation makes its way to the Saturn in late August. This popular racing simulation game, originally for PC, tasks players with guiding the lives of high school girls over 3 years. The goal is to help them succeed and achieve their dreams, whether it's pursuing a career, marriage, or other paths, with various events and character interactions shaping their futures. This page features a coming soon preview for upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First up is World Advanced Strategy, a strategy simulation game based on the Mega Drive version, placing players in command of German forces during World War II battles, rendered with polygon graphics and diverse battle scenes. Next is Galactic Attack, a vertical scrolling shooter based on the arcade hit Rayforce, featuring intense boss fights and lock-on laser mechanics across 7 stages. Digital Pinball. Last Gladiators offers a realistic pinball simulation experience on the Saturn, utilizing high-resolution modes for detailed tables and aiming for accurate physics. Darkseed, an adventure game heavily influenced by the art of H.R. Giger, brings its unique, unsettling visuals and puzzle-solving gameplay to the Saturn. The classic city-building simulation, SimCity 2000, is coming to the Saturn, allowing players to construct and manage their own urban landscapes. Finally, Clockwork Knight, Pepperucho's Great Adventure Volume 2, the sequel to the platforming action game, continues the adventures in its distinctive toy-filled world. This page continues the coming soon preview from the previous page, showcasing more diverse, upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First, Yumi Mix Remix is an adventure game based on a popular manga, featuring multiple endings and character interactions. Next, a tentative title for a slam dunk basketball game is shown. Based on the popular anime and featuring 3D polygon graphics, bringing the arcade game experience home. The Datana Twinbee Yahoo! Deluxe Pack bundles 2 arcade shooting games, Datana Twinbee and Twinbee Yahoo! For fans of the classic Konami series. Following that, the Street Fighter II movie is an interactive experience based on the animated film, allowing players to delve into the world and challenge characters. Also previewed are Virtual Photo Studio, a simulation focused on photographing models, and Mahou no Janshi Popoepo Emi, an adult mahjong game. Marriage, another simulation game based on the Graduation series, tasks players with building relationships towards marriage. The section highlights the use of the MPEG card for high-quality video, mentioning games like Mortal Kombat 2 Complete Edition and Gungrafon that utilize this hardware. Finally, an Other Trends section briefly lists several other potential or upcoming titles across different genres, indicating a busy future for the console. This page features a comprehensive release calendar for Sega's platforms, including the burgeoning Sega Saturn, the Super 32X, Mega Drive, Genesis, and Game Gear. The Sega Saturn calendar dominates the page, listing titles releasing from May onwards, with a substantial section for upcoming but unannounced games. It highlights the rapid expansion of the Saturn library with diverse genres like RPGs, like Grand Chaser, fighting games, Virtua Fighter 2, Crime Wave, simulations, and adventure games. The sheer volume of titles shows Sega pushing hard to establish the console's presence. The calendars for Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Game Gear show that these systems are still receiving new games, though at a slower pace compared to the Saturn. This indicates a transition period as Sega shifts focus to its next-generation hardware, while still supporting its established platforms. An editorial postscript reflects on the launch of the Saturn and the challenges and excitement surrounding its rapid development and release schedule. It touches on the importance of upcoming industry events like E3 and the Tokyo Toy Show for revealing new software. Finally, a preview for the next issue promises further coverage of upcoming RPGs, a report on Sega's presence at E3 in America, and highlights from the Tokyo Toy Show lineup, indicating continued in-depth coverage of the Sega Saturn and its future. This page features a lineup of upcoming Konami titles for the Sega Saturn. Leading the charge is the Parodius Deluxe Pack, a compilation bringing arcade shooting madness with the quirky Parodius crew to the Saturn in May. This pack delivers classic Konami shoot-'em-up action. So coming to the system are popular Japanese series, Jikyu, Powerful Pro Yakyu 95, part of the Power Pros baseball series, brings realistic baseball simulation, arriving in July. For puzzle fans, Tyson Puzzle Dama offers competitive puzzle gameplay featuring characters from the Twinbee series, also scheduled for a July release. Rounding out the key releases is the hugely popular dating simulation, Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You, set for a summer launch. It is also a promotion for jigsaw puzzles based on Tokimeki Memorial characters launching in June. Additionally, Konami is running a Get the Soft campaign, where Saturn users can win software and goods.